Uncensored Radio, Real Talk Roundtable. Real life, real laughs, real talk.
By the sounds of that whistle, it can only mean one thing. It is time to take a seat around the UCR Real Talk Roundtable. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Get your seats nice and comfy. Go ready to talk in depth about the stuff that is troubling our existence. My name is Steve. With us today, we have the Grand Dame of Uncensored Radio. A new buddy, Miss Trina, is here as well. And we thought it is the beginning of a new year. So today's show is all about New Year's resolutions. It's the resolution revolution. Because I read a report today that says about 45% of Americans and up to 71% of Australians make New Year's resolutions. But the success rate of these resolutions are only around 8 to 20%. So that's a lot of people not doing the resolutions. Around 80% resolutions fail within the first few weeks. And we are within the first few weeks. We are approaching Quitters Day, which is usually the second Friday of January. So we're getting there. We're getting close to that motion and that moment. And I thought it would be a really good topic to discuss about how, why, and if they work, when they work, and why don't they work. Now, Trina, for people that don't know you yet, what is it that you do, and why can you help us a little bit?
Why?
Why?
Yeah, so I am a mindset and strategy coach. So I help people kind of uncover the things that are getting in the way of them not being able to achieve their goals, and just understanding more about kind of the psychological dialogue that sometimes we kind of get into that will deter us, self-sabotage, and all of that fun stuff.
Fantastic. It's a bit scary. We've let her. It's going to be like the calls are coming from inside the house. Now that we've let her in the doors of Uncensored Radio, she's going to be like, I see the problem. It's definitely them. Now, Vera, you said to me that you are resolution anti. Team no res anymore.
I have not. Well, when everybody asks the question, I always give a pat answer. I resolve to go around the sun one more time. But I stopped making individual resolutions about 20 years ago.
Right. Any reason?
Quite a few, actually.
Right.
One, I never stuck to it. I always quit by Quitters Day. Two, when you announce it out loud, people around you feel they have a right to hold your feet to the fire. Even though they didn't make any resolutions or keep any resolutions, they're going to hold my feet to the fire and ask me why I'm eating cake. You know, like, fuck off.
That's
you know,
fair.
and I find that it did not motivate me. That brand new start mentality was nothing that ever triggered change for me.
I mean, it's definitely the favorite time of gyms everywhere, I'm pretty sure. That new
year.
Year.
How many gym memberships did I sign up for that I paid a lot of money to go 3 times?
Right.
And how many pieces of athletic equipment did I buy that turned into freestanding closets?
Mm-hmm. It's always nice to have somewhere to hang your stuff, isn't it?
It is.
It's always good. All right. So do we want to take...
I also did turn my canopy into a freestanding closet when I had a canopy on my bed.
Well, there you go. Equal opportunities hanger woman. That's what we like. It's very Grey Gardens at Vera's house. We like it. No, it's not. I've been there. It's wonderful. It's beautiful. Do we want to take a guess at what the top 3 common resolutions are?
Well, I can tell you what my top 3 were.
Yeah, let's see if they match up. Go.
Lose weight, quit smoking, drink less.
Okay, and you quit smoking.
I have. And I've lost hundreds and hundreds of pounds. And I don't drink at all.
There we go. Well, that's success. So,
but
Trina,
none of it was attached to a New Year's resolution.
Right, we're going to get to that. You got any guesses, Trina, as to what what's coming across as the top 3?
Lose weight, probably not smoking, and then something to do with finance, I would guess.
You got that one. So number 1, finances is number 2, and personal growth. So for health and fitness, it's living healthier, losing weight, eating better, exercising more, etc., etc. Finances, saving money or managing finances better, and personal growth is a big umbrella, obviously. Improving happiness, learning a new skill, reading more books, etc. Which is fair. So, what I think my first question is, and I think I have an answer for it. Why do you think Quitter's Day is so prominent? It has a title. The trend is so much that we have a title, we have a date range for Quitter's Day.
Mhm.
What do you think it's then? There's no scientific answer. This is just a personal thing.
I think it's because it's such an arbitrary instigator. It's not
Right.
internalized. It's just societal pressure.
Mm-hmm. Here's my thing, right? We tend to make these resolutions at a time of year when things are not as they usually are. That New Year's, Christmas, that really murky time where you lose those days and you're eating, drinking, being merry, overindulging and living the bacchanalian lifestyle and just consuming it all. And then we go, this can't be every day. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make a change and things will be better and I'll be a better person for it. And then real life comes along and you go back to work and the kids go back to school and all that kind of stuff. All the real stuff takes over. So your intention doesn't necessarily meet the expectation of what it does to make it a part of your real life and your everyday life. Am I close, Trina? Do you think I'm close?
I don't have all the answers.
I know, but I want you to give us your opinion because, you help people. So help us.
Yeah. With Quitter's Day, I think it probably started because people were quitting their goals and they wanted something to feel good about. So they're like, oh,
It's Quitter's Day.
let's make it like I succeeded. Yeah. Like we did what we're supposed to. And I love what you said, just because if you look at the weight loss, if you look at the financial and personal development, it's like when we get caught in our emotions, if you're eating a lot during Christmas, there's that guilt there. And then if you're spending all this money on your gifts and all of that stuff, all of a sudden that can become the main focus. And so the thing is with, when you make decisions that are emotion based, once that emotion kind of passes through your system, the motivation is gone. And so, you can't hold on to an emotion forever. They actually come and they go. So once, 2 weeks is up, the guilt kind of starts to go away. And then that motivation is no longer there.
I'm going to disagree with you. Spite can hang around for a long time. Spite will power a lot of stuff.
But you'll go into you'll churn out of it. It'll come back. You can't live there 24/7.
You're gonna live there for a while. Trust me.
If you want to live there for a while, you go nuts.
Look, I'm showing my hand way too early here, aren't I?
I'm curious.
We got some issues with this one. So, yeah, I think that as we just discussed, it's a reality-based thing. We have ideals, and then we have the real reality of the day-to-day and where these new intentions meet the expectation of not only you, but of the people in your life, because a lot of us either have family, there are people with spouses, children, extended family, or work and friends and all that kind of stuff, podcasts. There are things that demand your time that you want to put effort into and you want to put energy into. And then you're adding something else to the cart. And I feel like sometimes those resolutions are the latest thing. So it's like, last hired, first fired kind of thing. It's like, oh, well, I said I'd get fit, but you know what? I just decided that, so I can decide that again later. It's fine. We've got time to get fit. We can do that whenever we like. I did notice it was interesting that younger adults seem to be the ones that really get into this jive of New Year's resolutions. More likely to be the 18 to 29-year-old set, which is, I guess...
Which is when you're trying to figure this stuff out, which you're trying to find your path in this world and you're looking for self-improvement, you know?
Right. And you're still discovering who you are as well, I
Yeah.
guess. That whole thing of when it doesn't serve you anymore, you've got to put
I
it away.
found out
and
I was a
step
quitter.
away. I found out I was a quitter. Well, yeah, okay. Let's get specific then, because that's part of what they're saying is the tips for success. Health and fitness is a huge one. And I think, speaking for myself, as somebody who grew up adjacent to the entertainment and performing industry, there is always an expectation of how you should look, when you should look that way, how much effort you need to put in to look that way, and what will happen if you do play the game, what will happen if you don't play the game. And that can become all-encompassing in a really unhealthy way.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to make those... I guess it's kind of like a tradition thing. So I started, not to be one of those people, but I started a weight loss journey over 12 months ago now. And as we have talked about on this show, I have gone down the GLP-1 route and it has worked well for me. Now that I found what I'm using and how to use it, doing that has actually allowed me to now put new things in place that have become habit. Because when I was heavier and not feeling great about myself, I wouldn't go out and exercise and I wouldn't eat properly because it's like, well, I already fat and ugly. Why? Who cares? I'll just eat that cake over there. But now that I am feeling a bit better, and the medication's actually changed my body clock as well. I used to be able to sleep till 11 a.m. No worries. Like, you know, be awake till 3 a.m. Get up and live. Now, 6 a.m. rolls around, my eyes snap open, and I'm like, what's going on? What's happening in the world?
Which GLP-1 are you on?
I'm on Manjaro, and it's actually, I don't know what's happened to me.
I'm not
it's
having
actually
those effects.
but it's also made me actively seek out. So I've started walking, and when I started walking pretty religiously during COVID because there was nothing to do. You know, we had time to look after ourselves. We had time to stop and smell the roses and do the things that would make us feel better. But this has actually made me allow time for it and also want to do it. And I think want is a big thing too, because I feel with the resolutions, it's stuff that we feel like we have to do for other people.
Again, I go back. It's an arbitrary thing. You're kind of peer pressured into making a resolution that others can approve of, you know? Nobody says, I resolve to sleep more, and everybody goes, oh, good. You know,
I always resolve to sleep more. That's my dream.
Even if you're working third shift and your body's all freaked out all the time, you know, nobody says, good job.
So for health and fitness, and as someone who, you know, helps find these blockades and find a way around them, do you think it works more when it comes from the person as opposed to an outside force trainer? Like,
absolutely.
A doctor can tell you 100 times that you need to move more, but until you feel like you want to do it or you need to do it, it's not really going to make it happen, is it?
You know, it like when we get into, you know, I want to lose weight because I want to impress that person, or I want to make more money so that I can obtain the relationship or whatever. Like anytime, sorry, my dog is being very.
Who's a good dog?
All right, she loves love.
Who's a good
Okay,
dog?
I love love too.
But anytime we get into trying to, and like you think like when we grow up too, this is how we are taught, right? Because attention through parents and everything, if we want attention, if we want to be fed, we make noise, we try and get the attention, and we're kind of conditioned to the external world. But when you actually want to stick to something, it needs to come from an intrinsic motivation, because that's really the guidepost that's going to keep you forward. And I remember I used to want to lose weight all the time, like every year. January 1st, I'd be like, I'm going to lose weight. And I'm sure today, and it just came and it wasn't there. And then when I found the right motivation, everything changed. And the motivation was, this is, if I can't do this, then I'm not made for this career path. And like, if I can't hold this discipline. And so finding that intrinsic motivation for all of us, like when you did what is JBL?
GPL1. It's like a semi-glutide medication.
It's the newest weight loss drug that.
Yeah, like your Ozempics and your Mounjaros,
your Wegovys.
Okay. Yeah. So like when you take that, when you start to take that and it has those effects, one of the other things that's changing is, how you see yourself. Because if you're getting those results and all of a sudden now you're not the person who can't lose weight, and you're now not the person, like whatever identity you had before. And now you're like, I'm going to go walk. I'm going to go do this. And the relationship with yourself has changed because you see yourself differently.
And I think it's super important that we have this conversation, because my last doctor's checkup was just before Christmas. And I don't talk about this because I'm not one of those people who was like, this is how much weight I've lost, and this is what I'm doing, and da 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 da.
Do it, celebrate it.
When that comes up. So I've lost 26 kilos, which is 57 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hardly anyone has said anything. So at the end of the day, but at the end of the day, it proved to me even more that it has to be for you, because no one's going to care. No one cares about it unless you, like, it really put it into focus that I can't do that for other people's approval, for other people's whatever. I'm doing it because I want to feel better about myself. I want to be healthier. I want to have a better lifestyle, which I am now. Yes, it's very thrilling when you can fit into clothes that didn't fit before. You're like, serve, I'm winning. It's a great thing. But there's actual benefits to what's happening, and it's personal. It's not for the bigger world. And that's kind of really reinforced it by going through this kind of thing, which is why I brought it up. Not to brag.
Well, I've lost weight 4 or 5 different times in my life. The very first time was when I was in college and I moved away from home and I was walking everywhere. I had no car. I had no choice. I just had to walk,
Necessity.
Even the walk to the bus stop from my dorm was 4 blocks, Yeah. So the second time was when I went on to one of those man-made weight loss plans where they send you the food and all you eat is their food, and you weigh in once a week and you pay hundreds of dollars. And I lost 100 pounds on that, I have been on Weight Watchers 8 to 30 times in my life. I have done every diet under the sun. I've done phentermine. I've done amphetamines. I've done almost every med you can think of. And it always comes back to the food noise. There is definitely a food noise in my head that I can't turn off, but it does go away with the GLP-1. And I don't know what the chemistry is, but I believe in it.
Yeah,
I've been on the GLP-1 since October, and I've lost, not like Steve, I've lost less than 10 kilos. But for somebody who's 60 and sedentary, that's significant. And to turn down that food noise is amazing. Because like I said, I've lost 100 pounds 5 times. I just keep finding it because
keeps creeping back in. You're like, oh, hello, Cake.
Is calling my name all the time.
Hello, delicious Cake. Would you like to come in? Why not?
You know you
It knows your name.
Talk about your part-time lovers.
I know, right? I always cheat and mean keep them keen,
But-
isn't that right?
You know, and with smoking, I quit smoking every Monday for 10 years. And then one random Tuesday, I'm driving in my car and I light a cigarette and it doesn't taste good. And it smells bad to me. And all of a sudden it's like, why the hell am I doing this? And I
Yeah.
literally put out the cigarette and threw everything away in that moment and never looked back on cigarettes.
Wow, that's
You know?
impressive.
And
But it didn't serve you anymore either.
it did not.
giving you
Whatever I thought it was
whatever
serving, it
dopamine
was over
hit
in that
you got
moment,
from it.
and I was done. And you know, the same with drinking. You know, I was always a very lightweight drinker. I didn't like to be out of control. But when I was 28, I had a 10-year reunion with my best buds from college, and we were drinking like we were 18. And I was sick till Tuesday. I had a 4-day hangover. I couldn't even get out of bed on Sunday. I was just like, I'm so...
You gotta, once you reach past that 25 limit, you've
and it
got to
was
really
done. I was like,
plan out that drinking. You're like, well, I need
Yeah,
2
no,
days off here,
I'm
and
done
then I
with
need
it.
this. No,
You know,
I'm still a good
but
time
weight
girl
loss
when I
is
need to
that
be.
one goal I can't ever find. You know,
Well, it sounds like you can find it. It's just you also can find cake. You're hitting your
Yeah.
goal.
There's no cake in my house.
Yeah, you're hitting
I
your
don't
goal.
keep cake in my house. I don't keep potato chips in my house. I don't keep sodas in my house, except for
But the outside world has a way of going, hello, I'd like to come in. I'm
Well,
chocolate.
you know, I came to nursing late in life. I was 40 and realized Prince Charming wasn't coming and I needed to do something else to support myself. So being on a floor and working in a clinic environment, you're on the go, you know, and drug reps here in America, because our healthcare is so freaking broken, will come in all the time with food.
Got some pet pills.
You know, hi, it's Dan from, you know, Osuka Pharmaceuticals. I brought you some pizza and this educational literature, you know, all about
Bribe those nurses.
drugs,
Bribe those
you know?
nurses.
So
I love it.
The food, and grateful patients would bring in cakes, and grateful family would bring you cookies, and you know, there was food everywhere when you worked on the floor.
Yeah,
And when
Christmas is a very dangerous time for dance teachers too.
Food's a good way to keep yourself awake.
Yeah, got to get that sugar rush, got to get that caffeine.
Yeah,
happening
exactly.
And
You know,
make you work
got to be
harder
able
for
to do
other
my
people.
3 o'clock vitals. I got to be awake for it. You know.
But it's interesting, as you were saying, it wasn't the new year that sparked the non-smoking thing and the drinking thing. It was just your regular day, and then something switched. You went, I don't want to do that, which is kind of like what happened with me. Again, yo-yo. I'm like Oprah, yo-yoing the entire life, and tried everything. Did the shakes, did the cabbage soup, did the meals, did all that kind of stuff. Nothing would stick, and then by it not sticking, it kind of reinforced, well, then why am I trying?
I actually got to the point where I liked that stupid cabbage soup.
Oh no, no, that's some kind of self-flagellation ritual. That shit, that's not okay. No one wants that Weight Watchers dirty ass cabbage soup.
I can't say where the motivation came from, because it was the idea of quitting drinking and quitting smoking was always in my head, that this was a life path that I needed, that smoking was only bad for me. As a nurse, I knew it was bad for me, you know, it just like, gotta go.
Yeah. And I think it's the same with exercise, right, too, because as we said, this is the gym, the time that gyms love. They're like, we'll get that 12 months. We'll get that 12-month sign up, make it happen, make it feel like they're getting a deal, but they'll just be locked in for that contract for 12 months. Sorry.
I was going to say, exercise has never been my friend. There's only 2 times in my life that I really put my effort into exercising. And one was after a really horrible breakup. And all I could
Revenge
do was
body.
I needed fucking
Revenge
dopamine.
body.
No, it wasn't revenge body. It really wasn't.
No?
It was like, I need dopamine, you know?
Someone help me. Yep.
And then the other time was after I got my knee replaced and I could walk. And then it
Right,
became important to walk, you know?
Are you an exercise girly, Trina? Are you like a hikey kind of runny club girl? Or
Hikey runny girl.
Yeah. Are you one of those? Are you one of those girls?
I am an exercise girl. I wasn't always an exercise girl.
Right.
I actually, every January 1st, I do something called 75 Hard, which
You're
has
crazy.
elements of
I don't know what that is.
Tell Vera so she knows that you're crazy as well.
All right. It's 75 days and you have to commit to this daily practice. So it's 45 minutes of an outdoor workout, 45 minutes of it doesn't matter if it's indoors or outdoors, but another 45-minute workout, 10 pages of a book, 1 gallon of water. You have to stick to a diet of your choosing and no alcohol and a progress photo every day.
That does sound pretty hard.
And I'm on so here's the thing is I'm on year 5 or 6 now.
Right.
And every year, like year 1, it was hard.
It was hard, 75.
Yeah, it was 75 hard. But now I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like I'm looking forward to, I wasn't looking forward to it this year, to be honest. I was like, I'm too busy for that.
Right, very busy lady. So,
Yeah.
Well, now you're in day 19, 18, right?
Yeah. But
And-
even I'm like, okay, after this, like it teaches you to schedule. I'll tell you that. Because after I do, I've got to do my workout because I haven't done it yet.
Well, one
You
of
gotta
my
find that time.
my exercise cycles, I was working out 5 hours a day. I was just going to work and just working out. I didn't see people. I didn't, I just gotta run, gonna walk in the morning, gonna walk in the afternoon, gonna go to the gym. And that was the bad breakup. Yeah. It wasn't a healthy relationship with exercising.
That's not, that's utilization of time, really.
The one
time with
exercise
things.
I stick to most is really yoga or Tai Chi. I find those meditative and not too stressful, and I enjoy them.
So Trina already just hit on it. The most important thing to make these kind of things stick and become habit, because that's what you want it to be. Yeah, you want to try and make these grand sweeping gestures into a habit, is scheduling and finding time in the day for this kind of thing, no matter what it is, whether it's, as you said, journaling or exercise or mental health practices. How do you find that time, Trina? What are some tools for the people who are just like, oh, I've got to do this, and this. What do we do? Help us here.
I mean, here's the thing is okay, so first, making sure that it's something that's connected to you. It's funny because I did a training on New Year's how to create a different type of New Year's resolution. And it's all about the emotional connection that you have to it, right? What does it mean for you? A lot of the people are just focused on what they want to achieve, but why is it important to you? Because the more that you can connect with that and understand that's going to be a huge thing. And then a big thing, because introducing a new habit all the time is going to be hard, because we like certainty, we like consistency, we like our lives to be cyclical and just this thing that we can kind of predict. Our brains like it. And so when you create the schedule, it's really important to, and it sucks at first, I'm going to tell you this, but to not negotiate with yourself. You're going to get into those moments where you're going to be like, oh, I don't feel like it. And that is where people fall off, is because they're listening to their feelings as truth rather than, well, your feelings are a signal, but what is the signal? The signal is saying, okay, well, I want to want to watch Netflix. I want to chill. I want to, just scroll on my phone. But that's just because that's the pattern that you're used to. And so getting into like following those new habits, it's kind of creating that discipline of saying, okay, this is for the future.
I found this on the web.
Oh, this is for
Google's being helpful. I love it when Google's helpful. She's great. So what I know that you just said that you can't really, you've got to like stick to your guns. I think what I'm personally speaking, a lot of time for me is when you do have those little setbacks or those moments of failure, you just go, oh well, I'm just going to wash my hands of the whole thing. I didn't work out at first, so I'm just going to give up. Can you allow yourself a setback, and as long as you notice it and go, okay, this is a setback. It's not a full stop. It's putting a little bit of a comma in the sentence as opposed to going, this is the end. I've got to give up this and move on and try something else because I'm a failure. Because we're not going to be 100% successful all the time at everything that we try when we're trying to make it a new habit, right?
Yeah. That's a good question. So, can you?
Yeah.
Can I?
Well, I feel like I am now. Do you know what I mean? But there are times when I'm like, it's for the work that I do. Sometimes I work till 9 o'clock at night. The last thing I'm going to do is come home and cook a very nutritious and healthy meal, which is why we went to meal delivery services, pre-prepared, all that kind of stuff. But some nights you're just driving past the drive-through and you're like, it'll be easier. I'll just do it. But it doesn't mean. And now, see, this is the thing. Now I have ramifications for my decisions. Because if I decide that I'm going to eat that in a couple of hours, I'm going to wish I didn't. There are very real consequences. It's not kilos and calories in. There are very real consequences for the actions that you take. But just because I decided to stop and grab a cheeseburger once doesn't mean that I'm going to throw away my entire plan. I think it's important that you can go, okay, that was a slip up. It wasn't necessarily a failure, because we're programmed to believe that failures are full stops and that it's a moment of demarcation where you can't get back on the horse if you fall off it and you fracture your pelvis. You can recover and you can do more. But I think a lot of people at this time of the year are going, well, I tried, but it didn't work, so I'm going to give up. So try again is maybe the better option, right?
I have been in that place 100 times, and most of the time it's easy to give up. But on the times when I've succeeded, I stop and remind myself, this is a choice I made, and I made it for these reasons. I mean, like with this current weight loss journey, like I said, it's just been since October. I'm not burning down the house or anything. I'm just slow and steady, a half a pound a week, blah, blah, blah. But I have a reason. I have a personal reason. I want to retire healthy. I want to be able to travel when I retire. I want to be able to come to Australia and see Steve.
Yay!
Or go up into Calgary and see the mountains. I want to go to Banff. I want to take that train across Canada. I want to see the Grand Canyon. I want to go to Europe again. I have a whole bunch of travel goals that are part of why I want to lose weight at this point.
So when we're talking, I think we can put it like a little bit of a full stop on the health and fitness of it all, because it can become this horrible cycle of self-doubt and preoccupation. But it's hard because your body is your life and you've got to invest in the future, as we were just discussing.
But like Trina was saying, the motivation is different. It's not, I want to lose weight for him. It's not a revenge body. It's, I want my body to keep working when I stop working. You know what I mean? I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to hike up a mountain or, into a canyon. I want to be able to do things differently.
Right. That's a good way of refocusing it, I guess. So we're going to go on personal growth. as a term,
facial expressions that are coming
right?
out of you. I'm
As a-
ready.
all
I'm
right.
ready.
I am pondering. I do consider myself as a terminally single person, and that aspect is not really a huge focus for me. I am not a strong believer, as we have discussed on this podcast and on Uncensored Radio in general. I don't always think that there is the one for everyone, and everyone's fate is to be with their perfect mate forever in a shining, happy castle where love is all that matters, and birds fart rainbows and all that shit. That's not real life. But I'm at the point now where I'm thinking, am I limiting my opportunity not for romance and love and all that thing, but just for socialization by not partaking in that dating thing that's going on? How everyone else is like got their little happy, and they do it because it's Christmas, and the other day that's going to be the jab day is Valentine's Day coming up. Everyone's like, look at how happy and perfect my life is. I'm engaged. It's great. Look at it. Look at love. Isn't love great? What a loser. Who wouldn't want to be in love? And you're like, oh, but then I also, on the flip side of the coin, I'm like, I don't want somebody in my bed. I don't want somebody in my house. I don't want that. I'm Whoopi Goldberg. I'm like, you can, like, as Vera says, you can't stay here. You can. There's a guest room down the hall. It's
There is a guest room down the hall, but this is a queen size bed, and I am the queen. I sleep from left to right. I can't have another person here.
We love that,
but I also I'm of the age where I'm not going to compromise. It's like I spent a lot of time looking for Mr. Right. I spent a lot of my life dating a lot of Mr. Wrongs. I made it a priority at times when I should have been looking at other things. And at this point, I'm beyond childbearing years, so that's not a consideration. If I have a companion, that would be great. I hate going to weddings by myself. It would be nice to have somebody to go to the movies with. But if I don't, I can go by myself. I'm not cynical about love. I mean, my Kindle probably is loaded with romance novels, My favorite movies are love stories. It's not, but I did come to the conclusion after my biggest breakup, the most traumatic breakup of my life, that you can't depend on love. Love isn't an ending. It's not the ending. It's just the start, and no matter what, it comes in many forms. It comes in many people, I'm not looking for it. If it finds me, I'm open to it, but I'm not going on apps. I'm not, asking people to set me up. I'm just not doing that.
So my question for the queen that is going to have the answers, I'm sure. Because is me thinking about dating somebody personal growth, or is it more adhering to something that is societally telling me that I should have a mate, be in a relationship? Because as Vera said, I'm fine by myself. I'm more than happy. I travel around the world by myself. I can do everything by myself. And that's a hard taught lesson. But I've been pondering it, and I'm wondering what that is. So can you give me a little clue?
Yeah. I mean, you're only going to have the answer to this question. Not me.
I know, but it's always good to get somebody else's opinion, right?
Yeah,
I'm very open to opinions.
Here's the thing: as humans, we're wired for connection, and relationships are part of the parcel. I think right now, maybe you might be in a space where you want to explore the idea of how long have you been single?
Double digits.
Okay.
We're a while. Yeah.
So you might be in that space right now where you're like, you know what? I know this world. I'm ready for something new. And that curiosity is just you kind of like playing with it. And I would guess that your skepticism or like is this really happening or am I just trying to listen is more you trying to stay safe than it is like
definitely. Men are assholes.
I would say lean into it. But it is personal development. Being vulnerable is scary, and especially if you've been hurt before, you have to develop a muscle where you decide to open yourself up and like take that chance, and that can be scary if you've been hurt before. I've definitely been hurt before, and I used to believe in the one and that whole story, and now it's like, oh wait a second, that's not healthy either, because I know like when you believe somebody's the one and you believe like this is my soulmate and I was put on this earth for this reason and we're supposed to be together. I did believe that. I was like, soulmates, this. And then I went through like 3 or 4 soulmates. And then I was like, hey, wait a second.
That was the guy that drove me to exercise.
Yeah. But then it's like, well, wait a second. Maybe it's more about this whole like, because it started to kind of dawn on me. If I think somebody is my soulmate, I'm going to do anything to be with them. I'm going to do anything to keep them. I'm going to sacrifice a lot of who I am. I'm going to sacrifice a lot of what I believe. And I went through that. And like, that's not why somebody was put on this earth, so that I could just give everything of myself to them and sacrifice everything in order to make it work. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
But I would going back to you, Steve, is I would say that you're likely in this space where you want to explore it, and the things that are coming up where you're saying, no, this is just like me and everybody's doing this and I want to be part of this thing, that would likely be fear.
I think I am approaching another birthday. And I think I'm in that kind of midlife moment now where I'm like, what is this second half, hopefully half, going to be? Like, I've done X, Y, and Z for a lot of the first half. And I think a lot of people can relate, especially the people that have families, that have spouses, that have high dependency jobs. I've done a lot for other people. My energy, a lot of the time, and Vera can relate, she's a nurse. My energy doesn't go to me. My energy goes out to other people a lot. I teach like 4 nights a week for multiple hours, from kids to adults. They all have their own personal needs and whatever. And just because I'm a dance teacher doesn't mean I'm not a therapist, doesn't mean I'm not a doctor, doesn't mean I'm not X, Y, and Z to these people as well. But at the end of the night, I have to go home with me. And I come home and I'm exhausted. And you go, all right, well, I've got to get up and go to work. I've got to go do my day job and, earn the money. And then I go to my night job, which I love, don't get me wrong. But there is frustration points and there are hard things that happen. And then you get to the end of the end. Always just seems to be at the end of the year when I get that moment to take a breath and go, okay, what was that? What did I get out of all that this year? Because yes, I have amazing relationships with people. I've got students that are internationally successful. I have people that I care about deeply, that care about me and all that good stuff. But you can get to the end of a year, the end of a week, the end of whatever, and feel like your cup is empty when everyone else's is full.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of where I'm at. And I think a lot of people get to, especially the new year, and they go, okay, I'm exhausted from what's just happened. And it's been a huge process. Do I want to repeat that process again? Because we know that once January kicks off, it's on. There's no holding any breaks, especially as we get older. That time goes quicker and quicker and quicker. And before you know it, you're at the end of another year and you're, okay, do I want to do this again? And then it's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. The New Year's resolution is a little temptation of different things. But instead of that, we kind of need to make a marked decision that things are going to be different, even if they're harder. And I feel like that's where I'm at the moment. I can see things winding up. Like in the next couple of years, I'm like, this will change, and this will change. So what does that mean for me, and where do I move forward from there? Everyone in my life is telling me that I am not going to stay in Australia. Everyone.
You know where the guest room is.
Yeah, I know. Everyone. And if Jeffrey had his way, I'm sure I'd be living in the attic right now. But
yes.
there are, and it comes down to finances, it comes down to a lot of things. Do you think a long-term goal is more realistic than a resolution? Or just a marked decision to change or to start to make change than going, everything is going to happen and I can make it happen?
So for me, like, goal setting and planning is a skill.
Yeah.
Like, it's a genuine skill to be able to see a big picture goal, to be able to make it to come into fruition. And my mentor, he taught me this one thing that I stick to all the time. And it's never about the goal. It's about who you need to become in order to achieve the goal. And
Love
that to me is just like, because it takes that external goal and it puts it inside of you. And if you don't hit the goal, it doesn't matter, because you've made the movements in yourself to kind of like bring it forward. And sometimes you don't hit the goal, you'll hit something even better.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so it's just like, instead of focusing on the external world so much, and it's even like, if we were to use, and I know you don't want to use like the weight stuff because we were just going off of that, but
keep going. It's all right.
Like,
we love an analogy.
In order to achieve like the body that you're trying to go after, who do you need to become in order to get that? There's a certain, process that you need to go through. And when for me, when I'm doing my 75 hard, I know where I want to be at the end, in terms of, it's not about what I look like at the end of 75 hard. It's about being somebody who's able to commit to discipline and being able to keep my word. And so every day when I go through, I'm like, oh, I did it. And like, I've done 75 hards where I missed, I took out caffeine as part of my diet, as one of my diet things. And I was having a green tea matcha latte, not thinking that there was caffeine in it. And then I beat up on myself so bad. And I didn't even look at, like, I was at day like 56. And like, I'm like, why am I getting mad at one matcha latte when I've just done all of this work? And it comes back to when you're saying people quit, it's because we focus on that negative thing, the thing that like we get upset about, and then we lose the momentum instead of focusing on all the amazing things that we've done prior to that.
So the tips for success from the statistics in this report come down to 3 separate sections, and I want to see if we agree. Obviously, the first one is be specific. Define exactly what success looks like, which we just talked about. Yeah, it's very good to have a goal in sight, to be consistent, to get back on track after setbacks, which we just discussed. And the last one is to make it sustainable. Ensure that the routine is maintainable in a long-term situation, which I think is, for me, when I've made resolutions, has been the problem, is that, yes, in that window of time when I have more time, when I am not busy, when everyone doesn't want my attention and I don't need to do this, that, and the other, it is maintainable. But when my real life sets in, can I still do A, B, and C to achieve D?
Mm-hmm.
And as you just said, goal setting is a skill. And it's got to be, instead of having a firm mind map, sometimes it's easier to have these little offshoots and go, okay, well, this is our main goal. But if we divert here, what happens? Is that an ultimate failure? Is it an off track? Is it a setback? What is it? Because if you look at it, the world and even resolutions are not black and white. There are shades of grey in everything. And just because you're in a shade of grey doesn't mean you can't get back to where you were. And I feel like if we are a little bit more open-minded in what we feel success in achieving a goal looks like and how you get there, you're less likely to give up, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The more clarity you have about what you're trying to achieve. Also, too, if you have like wishy-washy goals, like, okay, I want to lose weight. It's like, well, if you lose
How
a
much weight?
pound,
Yeah.
then great. I win.
Yay!
I can go
Play
eat.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. I love that.
Well, I think the hardest work of my life has not been those individual goals, but the overall goal of coming to grips with having grown up with a mentally ill mother. That mental health journey has been the entire adulthood. It's, and there's setbacks where I want to go to the cemetery and scream at a grave. And then there's times where it's like, all right, she was mentally ill. She didn't do this to you. It wasn't that personal, even though it felt that personal in that moment, but
yeah,
it's a
but
lifelong journey for me.
That obviously has become.
That's not like, that's a lifetime goal. That's never going to be fully realized.
But that's become a realization
I haven't
doing
got there
that
yet.
stuff too, right? All that, like all the weight loss and all that kind of stuff. It all there's core things that kind of get shadowed by other things, and we've spoken personally and on the show about your familiar relationships and stuff like that, Vera.
Mm-hmm.
That it all kind of bleeds. That as we said, there's these little offshoots that you go, okay, well this happened, but this happened because of this, and maybe it's identifying your core need or your core want, and as Trina said, being specific about it.
There's a lot of forgiving myself. There's a lot of forgiving her, and learning to forgive those things makes it easier to forgive myself if I have that piece of cake,
Right.
For something like that, like, because what's happening is you're holding two truths. You're holding your truth and you're holding her truth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful that you want to hold her truth. And at the same time, you can put it down and just hold yours for a moment and let it live, because by expressing your anger and your pain and being with it, you can let it pass through you. It doesn't mean she was a bad person. It doesn't, but your truth still exists. Right. And every time that you kind of segue and you're like, oh, but she was this and she was that, you're taking what your experience was and you're kind of like pushing it aside, and you need to let that breathe.
Because it then manifests.
I can internalize that, I think.
Yeah, but it then manifests in other ways, right? If you're trying to downplay your truth and give excuses for other people, then you find ways of coping and ways of kind of numbing that a little bit that are not necessarily healthy. Smoking, eating, drinking, promiscuous. This tea can't speak anymore. But sex times. I know, sexy. All the fun stuff today. But all right, so even though we are not resoluting, I want to ask us here, what's the plan for the year? What's the hopes? What's the dreams? What's the desire? What's going on? We're not saying it's a resolution. We're having a resolution revolution. We are opening up to the universe. We are going, okay, we're freshening out the closet. We're airing it out for a new year. What do you want to see by the end of 2026? Vera, you can go first because you're the queen.
Well, I mean, some of these goals are ongoing. The preparation for retirement, the looking forward to a change when I'm not working, the continual struggle to accept my truth and my mother's truth in the same space, So yeah, I mean, those goals continue. They have been the goals of, the retirement's only been the goal the last 3 or 4 years, but, and the weight loss journey is part of that. And it's, it's not about aesthetics. It's not about a man. It's just about being able to do what I want to do in my future.
Beautiful stuff.
Becoming that person who gets to travel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Getting the allowance to actually do it. Trina,
Yeah.
what about you? What is 2026 hopefully going to bring into your world, into your life, into your sphere?
So after last year, I decided I was going to step into my femininity more. Because I used to be very masculine focused, masculine energy driven. And so have you guys seen the TV show Suits?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm stepping into, this is my Donna era. And so I'm just like, I'm okay with being open to what happens and what falls into my lap, but I'm bringing in that Donna energy and kind of seeing what happens by the end of the year. So I'm staying focused on that.
Mhm.
Beautiful. We love that. I think it's an openness, and expressing that intention is not a horrible thing either.
Right.
Because what we've discussed is that these resolutions have to have a bigger purpose. It can't be a small bridge to an easy solution, because that's not how life works, folks. Sadly, as much as we would like,
Nope.
we would love to be able to go, yes, everything's fixed and wrapped up and wonderful.
Yeah.
It becomes
It'll never
a
hurt me
process,
again.
right? Everything becomes a process, and it's just really, I think, a journey of getting to know yourself more and understanding the highs and the lows. And yes, we all have faults, but we do have strength as well. Sometimes you don't know what they are until they are placed in front of you, or somebody else can go, hey,
Somebody else points them out
Yeah.
to you
somebody
lot,
else
you
points
know?
them out to you. And I
Like-
think that means you can kind of accept that more too, when somebody outside of you goes, hey, this, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. I might not see it, but somebody
Depends on
sees
the
it.
person. Depends
One
on
of the most profound moments of my
And their
life
intention.
was an ex-boyfriend who just showed up on my Facebook years after we'd split. And he sent me a birthday DM, and he just said, my wish for you is that you could see yourself the way I always saw you. And it's like,
Oh,
and I think of that all the time. You know, he and I are not together. He just wasn't meant to be. It's not, you know, but he thought of me better than I thought of myself. And it made me realize that there's probably a lot of that going on in the world, that other
there
people see you
100%
much
is.
differently than you see yourself.
because
You
I
know?
think, especially when you do these like resolutions and you fail and all that kind of stuff, it takes a toll on you, and you feel less than, you feel like you have
Right.
done something wrong. But it takes people to go, this. So I'll flash back to nearly 6 years ago, Vera,
Oh my goodness.
when I first graced Uncensored Radio as a guest panelist for one episode. And then 2 weeks later, I was doing this. You know, my father, who was terminally ill at the time, he just went, is there anything you get involved in that you don't end up running? I went, it's a very good question. The answer is no. The answer is no. And obviously that's a control thing, but I feel like I have pretty good leadership qualities. I feel like I can steer a ship where it needs to go, and it is a repeated pattern in my life that this is the role that I fall into. I don't ever seek it out. That's the thing. So
You don't
when
know
somebody
you
else,
seek it out.
hey, all I did was come up with some ideas, and look where we are. Look where we are now. We are running it. But I think that there's nothing wrong with taking, as Trina has said, just as long as the person that is noticing it has the right intentions for you, there's nothing wrong with taking that information on board and putting it in your back pocket and go, okay, I feel all right about that. That's a good thing. And I feel all right about this conversation. Do we have anything to cap it off, ladies? Are we feeling happy and recharged?
You can't get off that easy. What's your 2026?
My 2026 is, I am very much so, as we were talking about, wanting to focus my energies in things that serve me. and fill up
Mhm.
my cup a little bit more. Because as I said, I feel there are times when I feel very empty.
Mhm.
I'm a creative person. I am somebody who goes full force into things when I'm passionate about it. But it's okay to realize that your passion doesn't mean you're a dedicated slave to something as well.
Yep.
It has to serve you. It has to give you something back. It has to give you more than endorphins and a little dopamine hit. There has to be more to it. So I want to make sure that I am focusing in the right areas. And that means relationships as well. There are personal relationships in my life that have gone by the wayside and I'm okay with.
Well, that's just life, though,
And
isn't it?
I think a lot of people will make you feel bad about, oh, you don't see this person, you don't see that person. I'm like, well, they also don't see me. You know what I mean? They don't seek me out. So just because I'm not seeking them out doesn't make me a bad person.
Mhm.
When I'm the only reason I get a phone call is when somebody needs something.
Well, I also
You know?
think for those of us that are terminally single,
Yay!
Be
that the
careful with
world-
your language.
those of us who are
Oh, she's
Oh.
frozen. Oh. Vera's frozen. Oh, there you go. Someone just came up. You just froze, Vera.
Okay.
Someone just came and proposed
the
to
world the world wants us to couple up. You know, there's this, and when we don't couple up, we drop off the invite list. There are people who, there are people who didn't invite me to a wedding because I didn't have a date. And if that's part of the
That's not where you want to be, though. Then, really, is it?
if that's part of the need for me to be in your social group, it's like, all right, we can move on.
Was this the same people with the group A, group B, group C?
I know, right? Back to last week's conversation on
It might be. I don't know if
might
you did
be.
that, but
It might be. But I think we've come to a pretty healthy consensus that resolutions might not be the way to go. We might need a little bit more longevity and a goal in the future, as opposed to a definite deadline of success or failure.
Too arbitrary for me. My goals have to build from inside.
The one resolution we do have is that we'll be back on Thursday for UCL Live. So we hope you've enjoyed our conversation. If you have a roundtable topic, please feel free to drop it in our comments or hit us up. I do want to make a quick thank you to the people who have been checking out the audio podcast out of nowhere. Hello, Japan.
Yeah.
So if you would like to listen to us, we are available on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, anywhere where mediocre podcasts are available, which is everyone and everywhere, because everyone's got a podcast, but we have been going for a long time. So stick with us. It's been a good journey today. It's been a great conversation. Thank you for joining me, Vera. Thank you, Trina, for coming back for seconds. She's done it. She's going to take that dog for a walk, and she's going to hit 75 hard.
I'm already.
I saw that little tail wagging in the background. I thought, oh, what a good
She's
dog,
getting ready.
though.
She's like, it's walkies. Walkies later, but it's a bit too hot here in Australia at the moment. I'll go for walkies later. Thanks for joining us, guys. I know. We'll see you again in the roundtable soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.